Welcome back to Traveling Flamingo. This is Linda and Aron, and today we're going to be looking at two of Carnival's biggest, newest, and most exciting cruise ships. We're going to be looking at the Carnival Celebration and the Carnival Mardi Gras. These ships may look like twins, but there are some fun differences that may help you pick which ship is best for you. And spoiler alert, they're both pretty epic.
Both of these ships are Excel class ships. This is the latest and greatest from Carnival Cruise Lines. They're big, they're modern, they're packed with dining and shows, and they have the first roller coaster at sea. That said, we have been able to go on both of them. Linda was able to go on the Mardi Gras once, and I was on the Celebration with Linda on the Celebration. So we've been on both of these ships, so we do know the difference, and we were trying to spot them while we were there. From a capacity and layout perspective, they're very similar, so of course the bones of the ship aren't all that different. The key difference though is that there are different neighborhoods and theming, and we'll talk more about that later, but there are key differences that we want you to know about.
Yeah, as Aron said, having been on both, I think it really did help with the layout. These ships are massive, but that being said, we definitely messed up getting on the sports deck because we took the wrong elevator.
It is one of those it is one of those cruise ship layouts that it's kind of split decks places, so only on the top decks, but you need to make sure you know which elevator you're going on, and we messed that up multiple times.
One of the neighborhoods in the main entertaining area is Grand Central or Celebration Central. On the Mardi Gras, it's the Grand Central, and this is where you've got your entertaining venue, but it's got just a really nice atrium vibe with the large glass windows, and there's the retractable screens that go up and down. Carnival Celebration has Celebration Central, and it's very similar. You've got the retractable LED screens, and these ones are upgraded. I mean, they were very nice on the Mardi Gras, so we didn't really notice a difference, although somebody who's like Aron's got a good eye for that, so he maybe would notice, but for the most part, you don't really. What actually bothered me more about both of the ships is that they've got these massive, beautiful windows, 3-story windows that you can enjoy the views. And the screens were like always up. We very rarely ever got to be looking out. But definitely in the evening time, they create quite the atmosphere. It's so different than during the day. So definitely areas to be checking out during the day and in the evening.
So they have changed the names of the neighborhood between the Mardi Gras and the Celebration. On the Mardi Gras, it's currently called the French Quarter and La Piazza. So on the Celebration, it's 820 Biscayne Bay. The stuff in those areas are going to be basically the same with different theming and different styles. At 820 Biscayne Bay, you've got the Miami Slice Pizza, which is your pizzeria, which is really good in my opinion. You've got Delco Deli, which has a bunch of food that they make fresh.
I ate there a lot.
Yeah, Linda and the little one really enjoyed it quite a lot. And so you can get lunch, you can take it back to your lunch, dinner. They don't have breakfast, but you can take it back to your room, or you can eat it there. They do have some seating. It is sort of limited.
The Pig and Anchor at the back is actually the best place to take it if you need more seating, because you just get your food and walk right on back, and there's a ton back there.
And then maybe one of our favorite places on the Celebration was the Gateway. So this is a very immersively themed area. It's got LED windows that change, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can see here. They also have a bit of a show that they play about space once in a while. Our little one really enjoyed being in here. There's a great place to go upstairs for a couple of naps. And highly recommend it. You can get coffee there. They have a bar.
Well, our little one loved it. He could take a nap and we could sit and enjoy coffee, but it was just a nice quiet space. I think that's something that's nice about both ships, is there's so many of these little pockets of areas that if you want somewhere to go party, you can find that. If you want somewhere to relax, you can find that.
And it is airport themed, which is really cool, and they did a good job with it. And there's a bunch of airport themed drinks that you can get there. It was a really neat little bar. A lot of credit to the detail that they put into it.
So if you are a big foodie though, like myself, and you love the food on the Mardi Gras, you're going to be really happy that on the Celebration, many of those core foods are still there. I mean, when we first sailed, my sister and I, we multiple times had double lunch and double dinner. There was so much really good food we wanted to try. So some of those core staples that are there on both are Guy's Burger, Shack Big Chicken, Street Eats, Jabang, and Cucina del Capitano. So there are, those main core ones are there, and most of them are included. So that's also great as well. Some of the changes you will notice actually is just sort of the names. As Aron said, the pizzeria is still in the same place, and the sandwiches next to it that are made fresh are same place, just different names I found. The food quality, I would also argue, was similar. The buffet was not our favorite, but we were able to get some quick food in there, which is the purpose of the buffet. But really those counter service places like Guy's Burger and Big Shack were really good. We found ourselves going back there again and again. And the other one was Blue Iguana Cantina. And poor Aron, what disappointed us about this one was the hours, because Aron had gone and got tacos for our little one. And I said, well, you should get your food as well. And he goes, no, I'll go back. Because I was thinking, you'd want to all sit together. Okay, fine. So he comes and gets the tacos, goes back to get himself a burrito, and they've closed in that time.
And they were very efficient. Everything was gone. I was very efficient at closing it up fast.
So check those hours. I mean, that's something we would have appreciated being open for dinner, but it's more of a lunchtime thing. Same with the buffet. We noticed a lot of people there hanging around waiting for them to open for dinner. So check the hours. But definitely try all these counter service places. They're so good. If you don't like them, go to another one. The main dining room we also found was okay. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner in there, but we just, Guy's Burgers was Nana favorite. Big Shack was my favorite.
Carnival really is one of those places that if you like to mix and match things, it's a great place to go in and get cheese at one place, to grab a burger from here, to grab that. You can definitely mix and match quite a lot of food, because each of these little restaurants have kind of a fixed thing, but you can get a burger, and then you can get a piece of...
Let me give you an example. Guy's Burger had the best french fries. I really liked his french fries. But if you were getting tired of the hamburger, just get some french fries and head down to Big Shack's, because you could get yourself a nice fried chicken sandwich. So stuff like that.
You could get 2 fried chicken sandwiches and make your own. Or you could grab a fried chicken sandwich and a burger over at Guy's, and you can just mix it up. Whatever you want, you can kind of do. But you need to be one of those people that seek out, how do I make this? So we also just want to say, before we move on, thank you to all of the staff and crew. They've been amazing on all of the cruise ships that we've been on, so thank you very much. You definitely make these trips amazing. Also, the staff and the entertainment and the shows are also amazing, and so we're going to move into that section. So both ships have comedy clubs and lounges and playlist productions and center stage entertainment, a whole bunch of stuff that you expect on all of these ships. Celebration has, as we said, upgraded LED technology in the central stage. They also have new productions unique to Celebration versus Mardi Gras. So as you know, many of these ships will have different entertainment. They do that on this as well. So they have a bunch of different entertainment that you can enjoy, and it won't be the same as you might have been on Mardi Gras or on the Celebration.
Yeah, we met a lot of people who's loved cruising on the Mardi Gras. So when they bring out the Celebration, it's nice if you like the layout and some of the familiarity that you can enjoy those features, but with different entertainment.
I will say, from my experience on the Celebration, the piano bar was either always closed, and again, we weren't out late at night, but it was always closed, or they were doing the art auctions in there. So we never really got into the piano bar. It wasn't very easy to get into.
No, that one didn't work out for us. But the theaters, the Grand Central, these areas do fill up quickly if there's shows and there's a show you want to see. So we would recommend going at least half an hour early if there is a show that you really, really, really want to see, and sitting down is a priority for you. Similar to dining, there's a lot of similarity in the bars. You've got Piano Bar 88, Havana Bar, Heroes Tribute Bar, and this is actually the one that had the nearest soft serve to us. So I would also say check out these bars. One of the big differences that I noticed is on the Mardi Gras, they had the Brass Magnolia, and this was a really cool themed bar, but they actually got rid of that on the Carnival Celebration, and they put in the Golden Jubilee, which was a very nostalgic bar, and they had lots of memorabilia, the glass windows, the doors. Definitely one that I would check out, especially if you're a Carnival fan and have been on a few of their cruises. And even go through during the day. We're not big drinkers, but going and checking out these different venues, getting a pop, or just enjoying the vibe.
It was very much a bit of a museum of Carnival stuff, which was amazing. Doors from different ships that were also called the Celebration. They really sort of tried to tie it back to the history of Carnival. It was a really neat little area to go through. It doesn't take very long. It's not like a museum, but there are pieces there that if you do want to look around, you can see it, and it's kind of really neat. So I think this ultimately comes into the difference between the Mardi Gras and the Celebration. The Mardi Gras is a little bit more leans into that. There's more color in your face. People come on with beads. They're kind of celebrating that party atmosphere. On the Celebration, it's a bit more reserved. It's a bit more buttoned down. And you see stuff like the history of Carnival that's going on within the Jubilee Lounge. So you really see these sort of components that I think really change the two vibes of the ship. Overall, though, you have the same sort of entertainment areas. They might be named differently, but you can find what you really want on board because there is consistency in what's on the ship.
I think, as Aron said, with the Mardi Gras beads and people coming on, you really felt that party right from the start. But once you get on these ships, they're so massive. There's these different areas that if you're looking for the party, head to the pool deck. But if you're looking for something a little bit more relaxing, I mean, we watched a quartet and, sat and enjoyed some music. There's trivia. So regardless of if you want really loud and busy or calm and relaxing, these ships are massive and you can find that space throughout. So if you really enjoyed that on the Mardi Gras, it's still like that on the Celebration.
If you think about which ship to choose, you should really think about the ports. They're very similar ships. There is a bit of a different vibe when it comes to theme, but the ports really matter the most. Where are you going? The ship, you can find, as Linda said, whatever you want on both of those ships. They have the same general experiences, maybe with different names. And so if you're looking for more of that Mardi Gras vibe, they have stuff like the French Quarter and the Brass Magnolia. They have all of those things that you're going to experience. And on the Celebration, again, one of the newest ships, they do change it up a little bit. Very small areas, but significant areas. I'll be interested in what future ships are going to do, because you kind of got the two sides of the spectrum at the moment, so we'll see what future ships do. But that's really the difference that you'll see between them. And, of course, price.
Yes,
price is going to matter quite a bit.
So let us know in the comments below, do you have a preference over the Mardi Gras or Celebration? Do you love this class of ship? Do you prefer a different cruise line altogether? We would really like to hear your ideas. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video. If you found it helpful, please do hit like and subscribe. And thanks again for watching, and happy travels.